Good evening. I call this special board meeting to order at 5 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. It's over there. Who moved my flag? Thank you. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Way to start a meeting. It's really loud. All right, roll call. All directors are present. Moving on to approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
We are not going to need the closed session tonight, so I'd like to remove that from the agenda.
Thank you.
I'll move the agenda with the changes.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor of the motion to approve the agenda with changes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, the agenda is approved. Moving on to public comment. There are no members of the public in person, but it looks like I have Peter Barnes online. Peter, do you have a public comment?
No comment, thank you.
Thank you. All right, community reports. No members of the community in person and no members online. So we will move on to item 3, consent items. Does anyone have anything they would like to pull? All right. Would anybody like to motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar, item 3.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor of the motion to approve consent items, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion passes. Item 4, there were no matters removed. Item 5, the presentation by SoCal Ren.
I'm not showing them in the waiting room right now.
Okay,
We could come back to that if we want to.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. It looks like, is it Tim Murphy? It looks like he just came in.
okay.
Okay, they're in the waiting room, or they're in the meeting. Mr. Murphy, we're ready for your presentation. Are you ready to begin?
Hello, yes. So I have a few of my colleagues who will be joining as well, but I am ready to begin.
And for
I will start.
the board's reference too, they were able to provide us with an updated presentation, so that's what you'll see. It'll be different than what's in your packet.
Okay, sure. So should I share my screen or you do have the slides?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and share it, and then just let me know whenever you need me to change the slide.
Sure. Sounds great. Okay, thank you. So, thank you everyone. My name is Tim Murphy, and I am a project manager with SoCal Ren. I'm also joined remotely by a few of my SoCal Ren colleagues who work closely with Phelan Piñon Hills Community Services District. Thank you for inviting us to tonight's board meeting. I'm happy to be here to share details about SoCal Ren Energy programs, who we are, and what we do. Thank you also to Sean Wright, Water Operations Manager for Phelan Piñon Hills CSD. Sean's been a great partner to work with this year and has been very engaged with the SoCal Ren team and responsive to our data requests and many emails. So thank you, Sean. We can advance to the next slide, please. So I'd like to begin by providing a brief overview of SoCal Ren public agency programs. The CPUC authorized the ratepayer-funded Southern California Regional Energy Network, SoCalRen, in 2012 as an avenue to assist Californians in reaching our state energy goals. The County of Los Angeles administers the portfolio of programs under the umbrella of SoCalRen. I work for the Energy Coalition, also known as TEC. TEC designed the public agency program in collaboration with LA County and a local government advisory board. And TEC is an environmental 501c3 nonprofit. We're able to provide our services at no cost to enrolled agencies like yours, who are Southern California Edison and SoCalGas customers, because you're already investing in these programs through ratepayer funds. There's two new SoCalRen programs that launched this year, the Strategic Energy Management, SEM for short, and the Water Infrastructure Program, also known as WIP. Phelan Piñon Hills is enrolled in both of the programs. They did enroll, your agency enrolled this year. While the programs have different areas of focus, they do complement each other. The SEM program takes a big picture view of an agency's energy use and provides tools and strategies to deliver long-term savings. And the WIP program is more project specific, centering around energy measures such as pump overhauls, equipment retrofits, pump process controls, and pipe and tank insulation. We can advance to the next slide, please. So there are over 700 agencies within the 12 counties shaded in purple on this map that are eligible to enroll in SoCalRen. As of today, we have 274 agency enrollments in our network. These agencies include K-12 school districts, local governments, special districts, county offices of education, cities, counties, and water, wastewater districts. And we can advance to the next slide, please. And here's an overview of the SoCalRen service areas, beginning with project management and technical support, procurement and construction support. We work closely with your staff from the design and planning phase through construction and project closeout. Financing, funding support. We assist in arranging financing options to help overcome budgetary constraints and maximize cost savings. And finally, network services. The next part of our presentation will concentrate on the SEM program. And for that, I will hand things over to SoCalRen Water and Wastewater SEM Program Lead, Matt Jensen. I'm not sure if Matt has joined the meeting.
I am not showing him right now.
Tim, would you be able to walk us through his portion of the presentation?
I actually am not quite prepared to go into a deep dive on the SEM program.
Can we revisit that and keep moving past that portion when he joins, circle back to it?
Sure. So this was the end of my portion of the presentation, Sean. So Matt was going to cover in more detail the SEM program, and then we were going to open up to questions.
How about if we put you on pause. We'll continue with our meeting, and then when he jumps in, if we're still here, we will address it then. Okay, let's move on.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we will move on with agenda item 6A, review and possible action to award professional services agreement to Merrill Johnson for qualified SW PPP practitioner inspection services. Mr. Bartz.
George is going to take this
All
item.
Thank you, Mr. Bartz. A little background on our project. The Civic Center project is currently in construction phase and is subject to the requirements of the State Water Resources Control Board Construction General Permit. Under this permit, ongoing QSP inspections, reporting, monitoring, and compliance documentation are required for the duration of the active construction. The district previously contracted with Merrill Johnson for civil engineering and design services for the Civic Center Phelan Park expansion. Given the familiarity with the project site, grading design, stormwater basin, erosion control measures, Merrill Johnson is well positioned to provide continuous QSP services in alignment with the project as needed. The provided services under the scope of services is under the 300-day duration of construction. And that includes like weekly reporting to the SMARTS program, which is the Stormwater Municipal Application and Reporting Tracking System. That will also ensure best management practices throughout the project, sweepy compliances, monitoring, reporting, pre, during, and post-storm inspections, and coordination with district staff and construction management and contractor. And then they'll have the closeout documentation upon completion of the project. This is one of 4 pending items that was reported to the board when we brought the project for approval or awarding to the contractor. The other 3 were the procurement of the electrical panel, the generator, as well as the one other item. With this included, FF&E, the finishing, furnishing, and FF&E, and equipment, that's it. So this is one that we need to get put in place before the start of the project with the contractor. Just to give you a little update before we get into the update of the projects in the further agenda items. Mobilization with the grader, Cooley Construction, will begin probably in the next couple of weeks, and moving dirt the first part of January. So with this, the staff is recommending that we award the PSA, which is included in the packet, to Merrill Johnson to oversee the compliance for sweepies. If you have any questions, I'm
Thank
here
you.
to answer.
Questions? No? All right. Would someone like to motion?
As long as the attorney's reviewed the contract and he's good with it, I'll make a motion to approve the item.
Okay, I will second that. All in favor of the motion to approve, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. The motion passes.
Just to note, Director, the PSA that was part of the contract is our standard. It was one that was approved prior with Merrill Johnson. They had provided their own, which we've always declined to use, so we included our standard. And this is one that was approved with prior legal counsel.
Perfect. Thank you, George.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item 6B, discussion and possible action regarding election of officers. Mr. Bartz.
Yes, thank you. Each year, a president and vice president are chosen at the first meeting in December for a term beginning in January per resolution 2024-06, section 12. And I can go into the details, but this is the first meeting in December, and this is the time where the president and vice president would be elected, and committee assignments can also be delegated at this point too. And I'll turn this back over to the board.
All right, thank you. All right. At this time, I will take motions.
I would like to nominate Rebecca as continuing president and Gina as our vice president.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second on either?
I'll second.
Both? Both? Oh, thank you. Just want to make sure. All right. All right. Do you accept the nomination?
I will accept the nomination.
All right, myself. So, let's see. Where am I? Motion and second. So, all in favor of myself continuing as president and Gina Mills as vice president, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. All right. Moving on to item 6C, discussion and possible action regarding committee assignments. Mr. Bartz.
Thank you. I had to find the right page there. Basically, the staff recommendation is the board president appoint committee members for 2026 and approve the meeting schedule. And these are typically decided by the board president, and then if the board has discussion on this during the process, they're welcome to discuss it and make changes if necessary.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so taking a look at the committee list, this is what I came up with and I would like to suggest. Feel free to jump in, but kind of wanted to shake things up and give people an opportunity to serve where they haven't had a chance to serve yet. So engineering committee, Gina and Chuck. Solid waste, Deborah and Greg. Legislative, Deborah and Rebecca. Park and Rec, Gina and Greg. And Finance, Rebecca and Chuck. Does anyone have any, sorry, did I read that too fast? Any questions, comments? No, sounds good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I like the idea of rotating people in and out of particularly engineering. That's nice.
Yeah.
And we will take Mark Roberts off the list. He declined to be part of the committees.
We wanted him to stay.
That's all right.
Do we really have to let go?
Yeah, it's an old one, and I looked at it, I was like, wait, I have messed up. So, I know that we might have a little bit of wiggling around that we'll have to do with some times with a couple of the committees, but we can, work that out.
Yeah, we can address that in, at the next meeting. If anybody has any concerns to set the dates. That might be a good agenda item as to, for everybody to review their calendars and
Yes.
certain days of the week, and then we can set the calendar accordingly.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Let's see, do we need a motion and a second for the committees? It looks like it, we do. At least on here, so we're just gonna play along. All right,
I'll move that we set the committees as listed.
all right.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion passes. And item, did I scroll past that? 6D, update on district projects.
Yes, I'm gonna have George we'll start with the park enhancement probably. You wanna start there? Or you gonna start?
Yeah,
Wherever you wanna go.
let's go with the Civic Center. If you don't mind.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, as I just read through, the contractor should have a schedule for this project to us, I thought today, hopefully tomorrow. Kind of gives us a better idea of where we're at. But we met with CPM, the construction management team that's on this project, and I'm not going to be just saying that this is not hopeful, but contractors say so you can get the project done in 12 months. Well, we had an 18-month period, so we'll see what this looks like, but they're very confident they can get it done. But we're looking at 18 months, so could be sooner. And as stated, Cooley Construction, they will be mobilizing. Surveyor will be out staking the perimeter for fencing, as well as the required distance from the Joshua trees. So they can begin work first part of January. There are a couple things that we're still working on, and that's the procurement of the electrical panels and the generator. And in the future board agenda, we'll bring the FF&E. It's not an urgency, but it's something we want to get through just because costs could be a lot different today than will be a few months from now. With that, I have nothing more to report on the Civic Center. If you have any questions or not, I can move on to the enhancement project. No, I just want to state I guess there's interest in seeing that, I don't know what they call it, the cistern or the tank, when that's demolished. So I don't know if you're interested, but we'll put the note out when the contractor will be out there to take that down. I'm not sure if somebody's looking for something, but I don't know. But just to note, when we did a cleanup on a 5-acre parcel when it was acquired back in 2010, there was a small tank that was removed, and we did recover a milk bottle that dates back in the mid-1950 or something. So that was interesting. But we recovered it. We have it in our office if you want to come by and check out the bottle. It's not that interesting, so.
You're going to put it in a little like glass case
it
in the
could
front
be.
foyer of the Civic Center?
It could be. We do have artifacts
Nice.
that we'd like to introduce in the FF&E portion of the interior design. Jen was able to retrieve some of that at the Piñon Hills Community Center Fire Station, really. So they'll be out there floating around in the office. So
It'll be interesting to see the changing of a landmark.
Mm-hmm.
The landmark
Oh,
will
yeah.
be gone.
Yes, it is. It will be. So I don't know if it'll be a sad day. I don't know. We'll see.
It's a change.
It is a change. With that, I can move on to the enhancement, if you don't mind. We are working through a change order with the contractor on some adjustments that were made to the design on the second phase. And once we get that through the process, I think they're going to be back out there probably in the next week or so, probably the beginning of January, just because of the holidays. The Edison is one of the questions that we've asked. The Edison conduit, which is underneath the pickleball court, that is to serve the Civic Center. They say that's the first thing they'll jump on as soon as they get going on the project. So we have a deadline for April, so that's the target date. It's been a slow go just because of the holidays, Thanksgiving, and some changes that kind of make sense where some of these items are placed, and those have been addressed. So we're moving forward with that. Any questions on the enhancement? No? Then I'll jump into the 14-acre project. The Joshua Tree, we're working through that with the ITP. There is a revision to that plan that'll be addressed in the Civic Center project on the retention basin. There are a few Joshua trees that we're going to issue a separate permit for the Civic Center project. We're working through that currently with the engineer, and I think I've mentioned also with the state biologist. So probably in the next couple of weeks, we should have something submitted to the state for approval, and then issue a permit to have those trees mitigated. And that's really more on the northeast end of the project where the retention basin is going to be constructed. So I have nothing more to add unless staff, no?
Okay, and before the next item, we do have the gentleman here.
Oh, great.
If we'd like to move on, who is it that is?
It's Mr. Jensen.
Mr. Jensen. Mr. Jensen, are you available to do the presentation?
I am. Can you hear me through the Zoom link?
Yes.
Okay, my apologies. I was waiting in another lobby and thought maybe the meeting was just starting late. So I've also got these slides and wanted to share some additional software. I wonder if I could share my screen. Would that be okay? Will you be able to see that if I do?
If you give me just 1 second. I do have the slides that were provided. Are those the slides or are they different?
they're the same, but then as soon as I finish up showing some slides, I wanted to show you the actual software that we use to track the opportunities that we've found with your team. So we're going to talk about the process and then show the results to you. And unfortunately, those results are not in the slide deck. They're in an actual interactive software that we're using with your team.
Okay, I will prepare to share with you when you're done with the presentation.
Okay, so you want to just start at the top then? Great. Has Tim already gone through and talked about the SoCal REN programs then?
That's correct. We're on the benefits of water and wastewater.
Okay,
SEM.
perfect. Well, good. Thank you for letting us present with you. My team, in conjunction with SoCal REN, we work with water systems all over the country to help them find opportunities for efficiency. Water and wastewater systems are underserved by other programs like this. And so we've found a nice niche where we can provide good value. What we do is work with teams to not just, we help them find potential capital upgrades for sure, but mostly we're looking at operational, low and no cost things can be done to save energy. And we find that when we work with water systems, that you don't have to sacrifice your water quality or your hydraulic performance in order to achieve efficiency gains. And in fact, the contrary, as systems become more efficient, their chlorine residuals get better, their hydraulic performance get better, their pressures stay higher, the system just runs better. Part of why there's a good opportunity in municipal water and wastewater or in special districts like this one is because frequently there's a disconnect between those who are paying the power bill and those who are making decisions that impact energy. Now, your team, I'm part of the reason why I'm here is I want to toot their horns for them. We've been very impressed by how sharp and aware they are of what's going on in their system, and they were already making a lot of good decisions efficiency-wise before we engage with them. But why don't we hit the next slide, and we'll talk about this process they've signed up for. Now, this entire program is covered by the public service purpose charge, which you pay on your power bill through SoCal REN. So there's no additional cost to the district. But this shows kind of the path that we take water systems through. Currently, you guys are engaged with us in SEM, and then there's a number of additional agencies in the region that are kind of going down this path at the same time. And so there's collective trainings that we're doing. There's potentially some positive peer pressure between agencies as they start making good changes and seeing good results. But we engage with teams like yours, and we help them create an energy team. A lot of that structure is already in place with you guys. There's a number of workshops that we teach over the course of the first year or so. This process is a 2-year process at a minimum, and then there's an option to extend if it makes sense for the district and for SoCal REN. But those workshops, we teach we start with some maybe energy basics, like what's the difference between a kilowatt and a kilowatt hour, and what do you pay on your power bill, which the answer is you pay for both, but in different ways. And there's things that you can do that will impact that bill and what you pay for. Also, we talk about common inefficiencies that we see all over the country and challenge your team to see if you're doing any of those things. After we've done 1 or 2 workshops, we come on site for a treasure hunt. And we had that treasure hunt with your team about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was actually the week before Thanksgiving, so I guess we're coming up on a month ago. In preparation for that, we spent time in your hydraulic model, going through with a fine-tooth comb, looking for areas where maybe there's high friction losses or potentially PRVs might be set wrong. And then in addition to that, we gathered a bunch of energy data and started to analyze the energy intensity. Well, your team actually gave us energy intensity information from the pumps they tested. And one thing that I've been impressed with your team is they've been very proactive about testing their pumps on a regular basis. And then not only do they get that information, but they use it proactively to make sure that they're servicing pumps that have low energy intensity. And let me just to clarify, energy intensity is the kilowatt hour it takes to produce, in this case, maybe 1 million gallons or an acre foot of water. And every pump, or in the case of booster pumps, how many kilowatt hours it takes to move a million gallons from a lower pressure zone to a higher pressure zone. Every pump has their own signature of how much energy that takes. And by getting regular pump testing done, your team is aware of that. And if they get pumps that have lower efficiency, maybe taking more energy to move than their peer pumps in the same station, then they're proactive about getting those things fixed. And even more so now in situation where pumps are still relatively in good service, but if there's pumps that are inherently more efficient than others, they're prioritizing using those pumps. And so the overall energy use to move water through your system will come down incrementally because they're being smart and proactive about understanding the energy use of their pumps. So I wanted to give them kudos and publicly acknowledge the great job that they're doing in that regard. And that was one thing we looked at. We looked at your use of storage and your use of which booster stations you're using, and are there opportunities to shift load from one to another that might save energy. We're now in that white arrow, the implementation phase. So over the next year and a half, there'll be additional workshops, but mostly now we're doing regular check-ins with your team where we're helping provide accountability. We're working through some technical challenges for them. We're really just providing engineering services and technical resources to help them be successful as they implement change and improve the efficiency in how they operate your system. And then the last piece, that measurement one is a key one, which is that there's incentive for your organization and for your team based off of the savings they achieve. And so we've created a regression model for your team, or for your system, I should say, not for your team, that characterizes the energy use relative to primarily water generation and distribution, but there's some other factors in there as well. And so that regression model, which is based off of a baseline period, will predict how much energy your team would have used if they weren't making any changes to operate more efficiently. And then as you will compare that to the actual energy use that you use as your team implements efficiency changes. And that difference between what you would have used and what you actually use is your savings. And that we will share with your team, of course, and they can share it with you, I hope, and you can share it with your ratepayers. But in addition to that, we will be sharing that with SoCalRen, and they provide an incentive, a financial incentive to, to thank you guys for your engagement. And just to be clear, the real carrot is the energy savings. The incentive back from SoCalRen is like a nice kiss on the cheek to say thanks for working hard and achieving good results. I've said a ton of words. Maybe are there any questions from the board about this process that your team's involved with?
Nope, I guess no question. Oh, yeah,
No,
one question.
Yeah, I do appreciate it. I look forward to seeing your final report and how our system plays into storage capacity, and how we can take advantage of cost savings for energy, both on pump and motor efficiencies, as well as being able to utilize storage for off-peak pumping.
Yeah, excellent. Maybe one more slide, I think, and then maybe I'll switch and share. So this is the incentive offered to your team from SoCalRen. If there are capital opportunities that we help identify, or perhaps they've been identified and they're on the shelf, and through engagement with us, your team decides to move them forward and to implement them, those can be incentivized at up to 21 cents per kilowatt hour saved. But that second line is really the key one. These BRO measures, O&M activities, behavioral retrocommissioning, operational improvements. That's incentivized at 2 cents per kilowatt hour. And then in addition to that, your team over the course of the engagement will be eligible up to $10,000 in milestones. So over the course of the time, as we work with all the agencies, they'll be setting milestones, and as your team achieves those, they'll get $1,000 a year, $1,500 here, just to help agencies that are to get regular incentive from SoCalRen, and also to sometimes provide incentive to agencies that are slower to engage than others, to make sure that they're getting something to kind of keep them moving until kind of the virtuous cycle takes over and they start feeling doing these things for the intrinsic value of saving energy and operating more efficiently. If I may now, how do I share my screen?
Here, just one second. I'll let you know when I'm ready. Okay, will you see if that allowed you to do it?
See? Okay, can you see a list of projects?
We see
Here with the
text.
insulate pump station buildings in the middle?
Yes, we see it.
Excellent. So this here on the side is the list of opportunities that we came through through the work. These first 20 are opportunities that came from the treasure hunt. And then in addition to that, there are an additional 59 that deal with overhauling potentially wells and pumps and that's through a sister program administered by Lincus. So we've got them on listed here as well, but we started in the hundreds, so there'd be a differentiation between the two. But so we can get into specifics if we want. In each of these opportunities, there's a background of the opportunity, the actions required. We've made some estimates on potential savings, which you'll see over here by doing some of those things. And anyway, collectively, all of these opportunities, if they were all done, we made some rough estimates, and we think that it'd save about 1.4 million kilowatt hours a year. That's a substantially big number for you guys. I think your total energy use is somewhere in the 6 million or 7 million kilowatt hours a year range, thereabout. So, you know, if all these things were done, and if our rough estimates right now are accurate, this would represent somewhere in the 20% savings range for you. I don't want you to start spending that money yet. You know, these numbers are very crude now, but your team was great at brainstorming and coming up with ideas, and we've done our best to try to give a good idea of where we think the savings might be. And over the course of this next year and a half, we'll be working with your team on these opportunities. They can log into this as well. We'll be adding notes every time we meet and what we talked about. They can come in and add notes as well. And then in this program, you know, there's a number of other tabs. I won't bore you right now by going through them all, but this is where we also have the model that we can share with them. And as they start making changes, they'll be able to see and track their own progress for efficiency gains. Any questions about Gazebo, the software or this list of opportunities from your team?
Nope, doesn't look like it.
Okay, well, anyway, that's mostly what we wanted to share with you. Let you know about their engagement with us in this program. We're super excited to work with them and very impressed with the caliber of individuals that you've got working on your system.
All right, thank you very much for the presentation. Sean, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Thank you, Tim, Matt, Paulo. We appreciate it. Very much appreciate the partnership.
All right, any other questions before we move on? All right. We're good to keep going?
Yes.
Okay.
We're good to go. Sorry
Just
about
making
that.
sure. There was kind of like a lull over there. All right, agenda item 7 is committee reports. Engineering committee,
Nothing to report.
thank you. Finance,
We met on November 18th and reviewed the audit, the quarterly financials, solar credits, and the investment report.
thank you. Legislative,
We met last week and we're preparing for trips to DC and Sacramento.
great, thank you. Park and Rec, we met in November. And just wanted to also give kudos to staff for the Christmas tree lighting this year. It keeps getting better and better every year. With the park enhancement, it made things so much nicer. A lot more room for people to walk around, enjoy the park, spread out. Definitely a good event. And waste and recycling.
Nothing to report since we reported out the last time.
Thank you. All right. Item 8, staff and general managers report. Anything to add?
I have nothing additional to add tonight.
Okay. So we will move on to directors' reports. Start with Chuck.
Nothing to report tonight.
Thank you. Deborah?
I attended the TAC meeting 2 weeks ago, and they went over the last end of year numbers and all that. So it's worth getting those meetings if you get a chance to sit in on them, because you get a better understanding of how the larger system works outside of us.
Okay, thank you. Gina?
I have nothing to report.
All right, Greg?
I have nothing to report, but I'd like to wish everybody Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year for both staff and public.
Thank you. Oh, go ahead.
I do have something to report. I went to the Christmas party for staff, and that was wonderful. You guys had a good event. Thank you for inviting.
I forgot to add, I attended that as well. It was very pleasant. Thank you, guys.
All right, and I have nothing to report, so we will move on to correspondence and information. Ms. Oakes?
The correspondence is included in the packet, and that's what was provided to customers in their November bills. We have some conservation information as well as upcoming events.
Okay, thank you. I know my husband attended the Free Tire Day, and he was much appreciative.
Yes, we had a very good turnout.
All right, moving on to item 11, action items. Were there any prior meeting action items?
The only one that we have from last meeting was to bring back the resolution approving staffing changes as part of the larger study encompassing the district salary schedule and salary policy.
Okay. And current meeting action items?
Yes, I have it noted that we will be adding the committee schedule to the agenda in January.
Got it. All right, and then setting agenda for next meeting. Next meeting potentially would be December 24th, but I'm going to assume that no one wants to be here.
Staff suggests we cancel that meeting.
I think staff is smart, and we would do that. So then the next one would be January 14th. Does anyone have anything else they would like to add to that agenda? No? All right, perfect. All right, so with that, no further business before the board. We will adjourn at 5:42 p.m. Thank you.
Oh, can't wait to get started on the building.
What's that?
Can't wait to get started.
It got
on the
canceled.